So today we have the joy of listening to my Sumter Valley. Go around the track. Working great. So I have set out the path for the next trail and rail. You can see it on the ground right there until it rises up. I have to get it to rise up. The other track we did last night or yesterday worked fine. It ran quite a bit with no issues, so I'm leaving that the way it is for right now. However, in order to get that track raised, I have to process some bricks. So today, what that is a wet saw. It's a diamond blade designed to cut concrete. I'll let the train go by. It's a diamond blade designed to cut concrete, and it uses water. Water runs down. It does have a safety, so if it gets water in the electrical, it will automatically shut off, so it's safe. But using water stops the dust, so you don't have dust flying everywhere when you're cutting concrete. All these bricks are full size 12 by 12. I don't need full size 12 by 12, so now we're going to cut the bricks into a half size, which will give me double the amount of bricks that I have, which should be fine to finish what my project is. So I have them on a table so it's higher, because I'm old. I don't have to lean on the ground to cut these. I have them on the table, so I'll be cutting two at a time. The third one will be left with a little bit of cut in it, and I'll finish that off after I get the other two off. So you gotta push your safety button. First of all, gotta get some water. Not a lot, running down the saw. Enough to capture the dust. So you don't want to stand behind it, because that's where the dust is going to go. I'm actually going to take the water, put the water on that side. Okay, so you start the saw. It's making yourself reset it every time. Now when it gets too stressed, because the stupid water hose got stuck, when it gets too stressed, it will shut down. Then you start it up again. Okay, that's how the bricks get cut. So we have our track starting here. Plan is it's going to go around, all the way around. The problem with this little track is it's always hard with little track, is that A, it has to connect to this track. B, it has a switch that connects through to the switch that's already installed over here. So it's not really a switch, but it allows you to go from track A to track B, and then you have a parking period, then you can get on to the track here. So that doesn't really allow access in the opposite direction to get in unless you back out. It's designed that way because there are some switches that are oddball in life, and I wanted to get an oddball one here. So you're going to have to learn what you're doing in order to get the train onto the center track from one of the outer 3 tracks. So I originally was going to make this curved, but because I'm close to what my mountain's going to be, I'm going to be putting a wall up right here, then building this mountain up. So this track is not going to be curved. I'm going to make it straight. That way I can encase it and actually have it going through the mountain, and I don't have to worry about a container on both sides. This can be free flowing down, and this side's going to be a straight flat piece, a flat wall, which I'll build on this side afterwards. So that's the only change we're going to make to the current design, is we're going to make it go straight right there. So now, as always, got my bricks, got my bag, got my stuff. Now we start building. One thing about listening to the Sumpter go around the circle is if you're listening to it, you can tell if there's a down or an up or a hill or if it's level, because the sound will change. It will speed up going downhill and slow going uphill. So if I keep listening to it, I'll be able to guess where those points are and then be able to fix them. If you go back to my older videos, you'll see all this grass is gone. It's just nice. All this is because of the delay. That's what you get when you start something and don't finish. Okay, so I'm back. Now we're now ready to build our tunnel. Because remember I said we're going to be going through a tunnel. So that being said, you have to be able to build that tunnel. So let's see what we got. I have an extra flat brick right here. Now I got pieces. So I got to start by putting on supports for my tunnel brick. I don't know what supports I need yet, so I'm just going to put one down and take my piece of wood I'm going to use. Put that down. Find out we have to be a little bit lower. So now I dig it in a little bit more. Just a little bit more. This is where I wear long pants when I'm doing this. Okay, we're completely off crooked, completely level. Now I have a level surface. See if it matches up. It does match up. So now we have our tunnel area. Now I have to dig out our area. So I can put my wood straight across. Now in this case, using the wood to level is the wrong thing to do. We'll see if this level fits. It does not. We gotta go to the other level. To level our ground. Which is really close to being exactly level. There we go. Exactly level. Now we've got to cut a little hole in our dirt. For our wires to go through. Move back all the dirt. Line the wires up so they don't cover each other. There we go. Straight across underneath. We put our piece of wood down. We put our track down. Should come up just right, which it does. So now we'll take and cut a little bit of this off. Why are you cutting that off? It wasn't in the way. Well, we're doing a tunnel. Tunnel needs to have sides. That's why we have these pieces of wood. They are our sides. What I do is I cut the edge in the back, because mountains are never square. The back's not going to have an entrance. It's going to be a concrete entrance we're going to build when it comes time. But when I put it in, I want to cut it now so I don't vibrate the hell out of it when I cut it with the train track on it. Come on. So, one of the reasons I can build the railroad like this is because I have a high supply of dirt. That comes from buying an excavator and buying a skid steer. Not a full size, but a mini skid steer. So whenever I need dirt, it's not like go to the store and pick up some dirt. It's you grab some and bring it back. Like now. Now the reason why I have a pile of dirt over there is because since I have an excavator, I've decided I'm building a pond in the corner. After I get done with the train, that's the next project. A pond, drainage ditch, use it for drainage, use it for watering the trees. So that's how we get dirt when we need dirt. That's where all the dirt comes from. Something I have to tell you about my Sumter. My Sumter Valley works great, but when I bought it, the person I bought it from did not disclose to me that he's missing the cover for the volume control, which is one of those round covers. There's 3 of them, 3 boiler covers. I'm missing the one for the volume control because it comes off so you can change the volume. If anybody knows how I can get one of these, please send me a message and let me know, because I don't know how to get one. Just by chance, me and my son went to Fort Sumter on a Boy Scout trip. Probably has nothing to do one to the other, but the name's Sumter, so it's kind of cool. Currently my biggest engine, I am working on getting a bigger engine. I'm not going to say what until I actually have it in hand, but one of the reasons why I built this track as big as I did is for a specific engine that I specifically want to get. And I think I found one and located it. Now I'm trying to maneuver the engine into my grasp as you speak. Make my dream a reality. Just like video 1 on trains explains. Video 1 goes through my childhood and where I picked up trains and where I got into trains and how I ended up right here where I'm at today. So if you have any of those questions, video 1 for trains explains that. time to start the Sumter up again. It's cooled down. So I don't know exactly when it cut off, but it appears the camera ran out of steam. So the fact is, I'm putting in the last 2 screws on this second piece right here. And I'm tightening this down. This train's really too big for the second track, but it should still work on it. Well, it does work on that track. Doesn't really fit the track, but it does function. You can see where it comes from, you can see where it goes to. because over 50% of this is level and in. So I'm just adding the extra 50% to make my little loop. Once I make the loop, I have to connect point A to point B, straight, curve, whatever. That's going to be the second half. So that's why I'm focusing only on this one piece at this point. Because if I started over there, I got over here, it was completely off, everything would be gone. So if I need to make an adjustment, I can from point A to point B. Now, this is not really a parking, even though it is. This is an inlet to the other loop. So it comes around. And once you get on the loop, you can't get out of the loop. You'll have to back up and back out. And then you can go on to the second loop. I wanted that because, I think I said earlier, oddities that some of these systems out there have. I wanted my own oddity. And that's what I made. It's my own little oddity. This isn't going to be filled in right away because I still have to run my junction boxes. I have about 6 junction boxes that I'm going to put at ground level, which would be right below the ground after I fill it in. And that's where my lights are going to go to. So I'll have multiple junction boxes. Every section will have its own junction box. So any buildings I put there, I can light them by running it to the junction box. Because one thing about trains, everybody in trains knows it, you're always going to add something. Every junction box will have 4 wires going to it. So it'll have 2 wires for lighting and 2 wires for some other option. Well, am I taking out what I just did? I forgot to isolate this side of the track. That side of the track has a disconnection box, so it's not really isolated with little pins. I only want to use one of those here. So this side of the track needs to be isolated. Which I hate to do, but the only way to get the damn things off is to destroy them. And I really hate that. probably already guessed this is an LG connection switch, because LG is the one at LGB. No, it's not refrigerator made. Because LGB is the one you gotta disconnect by destroying. Holy crap, I just disconnected the wrong one. Well, I got enough of those fancy connectors. We'll bolt them both on. As soon as I get my 3D system up and running, I'm going to make my own and I'm going to sell them. Except they'll be made out of a plastic that actually works. These are made on a platform that doesn't really work. Let me just take this off. Another one bites the dust. Went through 4 connectors just now and there's one project. And I can't buy new because all the damn companies are out of business because everybody stopped buying new. So all I can buy is used. I'm stuck with somebody else's used crap that hopefully they took care of it. Otherwise I gotta do what I do now. Baby it together to get it working. Really sucks that the train industry is going down the gutter. Spare track. Okay. Let's start out with the easiest thing. What if I go straight? Where do I end up? All I gotta do is connect those two pieces together. Get those two connected together, and all the track will be done. So let's see what happens. I put this on here, where do I go? I go the wrong place. Could it really be that easy? Really? Of course it wouldn't be that easy. This is my Mulholland Freeway. According to that, this will work. So I only have one power supply at this point. Haven't done electrical wiring all the way, just hooked up a couple wires. So I have to balance the two trains running on one power supply. Blue one is now running backwards when it's done all day. Shouldn't be an issue. Interesting. But, okay. Okay, now we're back. This is my mountain area. That's why this has to be closed up as much as it can be. Because from here, all this land is going to go up. This whole area is going to be a big mountain. In case you're wondering why I'm treating this area here different than I did everywhere else with all my spaces. That's why. There is a sense in the chaos. At least I would like to think there's a sense in the chaos. Since there'll be a difference in height, I'll be driving a stake in the middle of every one of these bricks so it doesn't push its way out. Okay. Anybody remember the first car gets run on a track when I started up? Anybody that said the cleaning car, that would be correct. Remember, I only have one converter right now. Power supply. Let's get the caboose out of here. Here we go. Will it work? So far everyone I finished got worked. Here we go. Time to test it. Gotta go to full speed. It's a small track, could still have problems, but it doesn't. Almost. There still is the big loop project, which has not even been started. Matter of fact, the third switch of the triangle was damaged by a lawnmower, so I have to rip that out and redo that switch. So it's a pretty good ways from being started. So I'm probably going to finish the main section, before I start running off into the woods. Or in this case, across the driveway with another whole track project, which might be just as powerful and as hard as all this. So that's it. I have to put some extra supports on the raised section, but everything else in this thing, except for my little loop-de-loop from the old track, is all done. Till next time, hope you enjoyed.